Morning, Michael. First of all, how's George Grant coping?
Yeah, as you can imagine, he's still very sore. Ankle's still very swollen. Going to be in a protective boot for a couple of days until the swelling subsides a little bit, and then it'll be a more sensible decision to get it scanned once that swelling sort of dies down a little bit. But yeah, doesn't look great, to be honest with you.
Have you got any sort of early indications as to whether that might be talking sort of weeks or months on the sidelines?
Well, I'll be amazed if it's weeks. But I'll be absolutely delighted at the same time. So I haven't got any sort of can't stand in and give you any firm reason, but why I think that just having looked at it at the time, having watched it back on the video and then seen some of the close images, doesn't look great. But let's hope that the scans give us a little bit of a more of a healthier picture. But I think we're going to see him on the sidelines for quite a while, to be fair.
Aside from George, has everyone else come through the weekend okay?
No, no, not really. Yeah, Adam Jackson's going to be very, very doubtful for Tuesday as well. I'm looking at my board as we're speaking here, and Liam Bridcut, Callum Morton, Harry Henderson, Joe Walsh, George Grant, Adam Jackson and Remy Howarth look unlikely to feature tomorrow.
That leaves you fairly light on numbers, obviously, with not having the largest of squads anyway. Centre-half options then, is it likely that we might see TJ slot in there?
Yeah, that looks like the obvious one. If that is the case. We'll know a little bit more about Jacko today, but I know he was very sore yesterday, having spoken to Mike. Listen, TJ's a more than capable centre half. He started his like sort of young career as a centre half, and obviously he's done well for us as a fullback. But when he has played at centre half for us, he's done okay for us. And him and Lewis actually started the season. If you think back to the Crew game, the Cup game, very, very first competitive game of the season, that was the central defensive partnership. So they did pretty well on that day. So if that is the case tomorrow, hopefully they can repeat that.
What is Adam's injury, by the way?
Calf injury.
Is that likely to keep him out for long, or just a short-term thing, needs a rest for a game?
I don't know in the minute. He's going to go for a scan today. Just to see the how long it's going to be and how bad it is. But again, he was another one who was pretty sore yesterday.
Midfield options, is Max Sanders ready to step in and start?
I'll know more today. The reason where he's not sort of featured the last couple of games because he's had a tight hamstring. He's been okay to go on the bench, but that's why I've been a little bit reluctant to bring him on in the games, because he has been suffering with a tight hamstring, and we've been nursing through the training sessions and trying to avoid getting him involved if we can help it, and allowing him a little bit more extra time to sort of come through that. That's obviously not as serious as some of the others that we spoke about. So hopefully, fingers crossed that we can have him involved and play some part tomorrow. Worst case scenario, then I'm sure he'll be fine for the weekend.
And thinking as well, it might give a start for someone like James Jones and some of the other fringe players to come in and really stake a claim for first team spots to nail down a place.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the opportunity that some tired players crave. We went through a spell probably up to about 4 weeks or so ago where we had 6 to 10 games where we were quite healthy, strong with the squad, winning most weeks, and the players that certainly were on the bench or weren't in the squad were having to be patient and wait for their opportunity. And like you said, we're very light. We're going to be very, very light tomorrow and possibly for a number of weeks. So it's a little bit concerning, and obviously, you want to be as strong as you possibly can at this point in the season and where we are, but that's football and you've got to deal with it.
Talking to matters on the pitch, have you kind of managed to assess that chaotic game at Plymouth on Saturday, sort of having had a couple of days to reflect on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think my reflections are pretty much what they were after the game. I was reasonably, sometimes you can be, a little bit sort of too emotional sometimes after the games, and I was probably more emotional after the Swindon game probably than I was on Saturday, because the facts are that we didn't start the game well enough on Saturday. Maybe that was a little bit of an after effect from midweek and not getting what we wanted out of the game. Having said that, recovered very well, shown a great response to it, and to sort of come back to go ahead in the game. I felt that maybe we were just a bit too comfortable at 3-2, and we probably, because, like I say, we had a lot of young players on the pitch. They started enjoying the game too much, and ultimately it cost us. But I come away thinking that, certainly, and then having watched it back for 20-25 minutes after half time, I'll be surprised if you get much better than that at this level in terms of the football that was played. The first 20-25 minutes of the second half were as good as what I've seen since I've been here. And I know I've said that a few times this year, but sometimes the players keep sort of lifting the bar, and we've just got to find a way of, when we do and produce that type of football, making sure that we punish teams.
You touched there on sort of starting games slowly. Is there any reason that you can sort of put your finger on why that might be?
Not really, other than lots of games and lots of young players. I do believe that if there was one or two senior players in the team, the likes of Joe Walsh and Liam Bridcuts, that would happen. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case for a while anyway. So we have to just make sure that we're giving as much information and feedback to the players, recognising and hopefully them recognising why we start a little bit slower than we would like, not waiting for a disappointment to happen before we have a reaction. You do get that with young players. I've had it before. The only way to sort of get better is by experiencing it. And, hopefully the last sort of 2 or 3 games where, we haven't really come out of the blocks, hopefully they'll learn that, and they'll take that on board and take it into the next few games.
Throughout most of the season, when you've had sort of a couple of disappointing results back to back, you've normally bounced back pretty well. How important do you assess this Fleetwood game now?
I think, I'd probably go as far as saying it, with the potential amount of players out and the type of players who go out, if we win this game tomorrow, it'll probably be as good a result or as good a winner as I've ever had in my career.
And with Fleetwood, I was just looking at their stats. They don't tend to sort of score many goals, but they've beaten Doncaster. At that potential inconsistency, is that what makes them dangerous?
Absolutely. I mean, you've only got to look at the front line and some of the players and experience they've got in the team. Obviously, Vassell and Paddy Manor, very, very good players at this level. Callum Camps, excellent, did brilliantly for Rochdale, done well for Fleetwood. And even the bench, I looked at the bench on Saturday and some of the players that they can bring on, the likes of Josh Morris. Listen, I think they'll improve, they'll get better. They've got very experienced minds in Simon Grayson, who will, sort of turn them into a very more consistent side over the latter part of the season. So much to be aware of, but I think if we're capable of sort of starting the game a little bit better, I do believe that we've got players that can hurt them as well.
And you mentioned Simon Grayson there. He's been in there for around about a month. Has he changed much at Fleetwood?
They've changed the shape a little bit, so that's certainly something that we're aware of and we'll have a look at. They're very adventurous in terms of they tend to keep two up top and really try to be a threat to the opposition. So again, we're going to have to be aggressive in our mindset to get something from the game.
And are they another sort of side, as you mentioned, with Swindon and I think Accrington as well, that they'll kind of come to a side who are doing well in the league, second in the top 2 promotion places, and we'll see it as a bit of a free hit?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I mean, obviously, since Simon's gone in, they've sort of pretty much attacked most games anyway. And I think when you're prepared to sort of lead to up top and ask your players behind them to stay solid and be hard to beat and put that block on, then they're going to give a good game to anybody. So they'll come in, and I think especially after Saturday, us conceding 4 goals, I'm sure they'll sort of come out of the blocks quick and want to sort of capitalise on that. So hopefully we'll be ready for that.